Alright, hello y'all, it is your man Julian, aka the Cozy Representative, back again. I wanted to make this quick little sort of off-the-cuff video. I was just now on a little late night scene emo live footage YouTube rabbit hole as one goes on, and inspiration struck because I found a lot of old videos from one specific show on one specific tour that's very, 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 very iconic, and there's a lot of cool things happening within these videos and on this tour, and I kind of just wanted to make a quick video like exploring this because this was a very cool, if you're a fan of, you know, post-hardcore or metalcore or even like swancore, really, this was a really cool moment in time, a true relic. The specific tour that I'm talking about was the Squash the Beef Tour 2009, presented by Rise Records, headlined by Gavin Dance, or a co-headliner rather, Gavin Dance and Emarosa. That's the first big thing of this tour was, you know, back in the day, you had original Gavin Dance with Johnny Craig. Johnny Craig left. It was this big deal, big dramatic thing. Johnny Craig's new band at the time was Emarosa, and at the time there was a beef. It was like, for a while, it was kind of like the Escape the Fate thing. It was like Johnny versus Kurt, and you had the Johnny fans and the Kurt fans, and people were beefing. And this tour was the Squash the Beef Tour to show people that, you know, everything's cool between DGD and Emarosa. So that in itself is very fucking sweet. Gavin Dance were in their Happiness album cycle, and Emarosa had just put out Relativity a year before. Opening up for this tour was Of Mice and Men, Tides of Man, and Of Machines. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit more because some really cool shit happening on the Squash the Beef Tour. Now, the specific show from this tour that I was looking at, and that I'm going to play a bunch of live clips from subsequently in this video, it's on a YouTube channel called Avenge theDeadHD, which hasn't uploaded anything in 7 years, but it has a bunch of, like, a wealth of old really cool live scene band videos. I remember watching this channel back in the day. You should check it out because there's a goldmine of shit in here on this channel, Avenge theDeadHD. But today we're going to be looking at a show that they filmed on October 12th, 2009 at the School of Rock East, the South Hackensack, New Jersey date of the Squash the Beef Tour. Some really cool footage here. So the first band on the bill is Of Machines, which there's actually no footage of Machines within these videos on this channel, but for those who don't know, that band was kind of one of the precursor bands to Woe Is Me. It featured that drummer Austin Thornton, who, you know, if you know anything about Woe Is Me history, that dude kind of got exposed for being a total asshole and like controlling everybody's lives, and kind of led to like Tyler Carter leaving and all the other guys leaving and whatnot. And he came from the band Of Machines, and they sound a lot like that first Woe Is Me record. So that right off the bat is interesting. They were on this tour. I don't have any videos of them from this show, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about them anyway. The next band you have on this roster is Tides of Man. Tides of Man were a very cool band who were on Rise Records at the time, but were not Rise-core. They were not Crabcore, Attack, The Devil Wears Prada. They were more in the vein of a Gavin Dancer and Emarosa, kind of an experimental post-hardcore kind of thing. Their first record, Empire Theory, is a fucking awesome album, super underrated. They were a super underrated band from this time. They didn't really have a lot of hype. They were on a lot of tours, but they didn't really get, you know, the same amount of attention that a lot of other bands from this time period got, but they were on this tour. I guess the most noteworthy thing about them, besides their old music being very good, was, yes, the frontman of Tides of Man, Tillian Pearson, ended up being the frontman of Gavin Dance. He has been for several years now, as you know, and this was his original band, Tides of Man, and they were on the Squash the Beef Tour. So right off the bat, on this tour, we have all 3 singers of Dance Gavin Dance, but they didn't even know it yet. You know what I mean? No one had any clue that Tillian Pearson from this little, you know, small Rise Records band, Tides of Man, was going to be the fucking singer of Dance Gavin Dance, but here they are. Here's a clip of them from this show doing the first song off of the first Tides of Man record, Knowing. Very cool song. Tillian had amazing pipes all the way back in the day. Here it is. Funny seeing Tillian with, you know, little scene hair, am I right? We're so used to him looking like a manly man nowadays. So anyway, yeah, we got Tides of Man. Next up on the bill, we got a Mice and Men. Everyone knows of Mice and Men, but this was the OG of Mice and Men. I think this was one of their first tours, if not possibly their first tour ever. I'm not sure. I would double check that, but it was one of the first, if not the first. So, you know, talk about iconic frontmen on this tour. We have Tillian Pearson, one of being Dance Gavin Dance frontman. The big hype about of Mice and Men at the time, and the reason why they were so high up on the bill, even though it was one of their first tours, was, yes, the frontman was Austin Carlisle, who was originally the frontman of Attack Attack. He got kicked out of that band, started of Mice and Men. And then of Mice and Men ended up being, like, you know, the huge metalcore giants, you know, turning into somewhat of a new metal band, you know, playing with, like, Slipknot and Korn later on. But here you got them on one of their first tours ever, you know, opening for Emarosa and Dance Gavin Dance. You know, you got them with Shaylee, original clean singer. You got them with Jackson Hall, the original bass player. And you got young, fresh-faced OG Austin Carlisle. Here's a clip of them doing their infamous Lil Wayne A Milli intro from back in the day. They also, on this tour, were doing their cover of Poker Face. Remember that?
I want to see those hands! Right here! You're in the front row! Put your hands up! Lift the glasses! Put your hands up! You're in the front row!
And then you got more footage of more fucking hype-ass metalcore from Of Mice and Men, the OG of Mice and Men. Alright, moving right along, you might as well call this the iconic post-hardcore frontmen tour, because, okay, we got Tillian Pearson, young Austin Carlisle. Next up, we got the hot ticket, Emarosa. So Emarosa was the band that Johnny Craig was in after his initial split with Gavin Dance. And I think Emarosa's stuff, their albums with Johnny, was some of Johnny's best work, in my opinion. Relativity is a crazy genius post-hardcore album. That album's awesome. Some great Johnny stuff on there, some great, cool, creative, sort of ambient post-hardcore instrumentals going on. And this was back when, you know, Johnny Craig nowadays is, let's be real, somewhat of a joke and kind of a... not even kind of, very much, like, not a very good dude, but this was like pre-MacBook scandal Johnny Craig. This was back when he was still, like, respected in the scene, and, like, still had, like, honor and merit to his name, and he was still, you know, he was still, like, a cool guy. I bet he was doing tons of bullshit back then, but, you know, he was still, like, a pretty big figure in the scene. He was in Isles and Glaciers with, you know, Craig Owens and this, that, and whatever. Had his solo album, too. But, so this was Emarosa during the fucking Relativity era, out on the Squash the Beef tour. And here you have some cool, nowadays would be looked back on as deep cuts from the Relativity album being played live. They opened with Pretend Release the Close. You got some What's a Clock Without the Batteries. You even got songs like Just Another Marionette, which is a pretty underrated track from their first record, if you ask me. So right, we got Emarosa up there killing it, Johnny sounding fucking crazy, and now for the main course, the headlining act, the band everyone's waiting to see, the headliners, Gavin Dance. So this is them with Kurt Travis fronting the band, who personally is my favorite Gavin Dance singer, and not because of his like skill or even like the quality of the music, really, more of just like, I just kind of have this personal connection with Kurt and with Happiness and the Death Star album kind of just mean a lot to me, just because of just the way they impacted me personally. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But you know, we got, and Happiness is my favorite Gavin Dance album personally. I'm not saying he's, you know, the Tillian era is great, the Johnny era is great. I love it all, but I don't know. For me, Kurt just really does it for me. So it's really awesome that this was during like the Happiness era. You had Will Swan screaming during this time, screaming and shredding, which was awesome. So some cool things about the Gavin Dance set. Right off the bat, you have them opening with the song The Robot versus the Heroin Battle of Vietnam, which was a song from their first EP, Whatever I Say Is Royal Ocean, which, you know, nowadays they like never play songs from that. They haven't played songs from that in years, you know what I mean? That's pretty like esoteric, deep cut category. And it's so cool. You got them opening with this song, this deep cut from Whatever I Say Is Royal Ocean during the Kurt Travis fronted Happiness era. They're opening with it on this like big tour that they're on. It's pretty cool. Here's a clip of it. Honestly, I think Kurt really did this song justice. He sounded really good on that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind hearing a studio version of him singing that. Obviously, it's, you know, that's never gonna happen, but I don't know. He sounded really good singing that. That was cool. They played fucking Rock Solid in this set. They played Don't Tell Dave, one of their most, like, underrated songs ever. That song's fucking fun. Don't Tell Dave. And of course, you know, it being the Squash the Beef tour, they had to show the crowd that they really were squashing the beef. So you had Gavin Dance invite Johnny Craig up to the stage to sing the old classic Lemon Meringue Tie with them. Very cool. And that was the Squash the Beef tour. Pretty fucking iconic. One of the most iconic scene tours from back in the day, if you ask me. Like I kind of said earlier, it's the iconic post-hardcore frontman tour. Tillian Pearson, Austin Carlisle, back when he was hot off the heels of leaving Attack Attack. Johnny Craig in his prime, and Kurt Travis in the Happiness era when he was fronting DGD. Very fucking cool. Just very interesting, you know what I mean? And it's cool to look back at these videos. You know, so much has changed in the scene. Tillian Pearson, obviously, is in Gavin Dance now. Cool to see him in his first band. You know, of Mice and Men have changed so much throughout the years. It's interesting to watch them kind of in their original form, you know, back when Austin Carlisle was still a little scene kid and whatever. Johnny Craig fronting Emarosa in the Relativity era. I don't know. And then Kurt Travis. It's really cool. You know what I'm saying? Because none of these lineups and these situations really stayed the same over the years, and it's just an interesting relic that I found, and I wanted to make this video kind of commemorating this and looking into this and showing these live videos, because I don't know, it's really fucking it's really sweet. It's really interesting. I wish I had like attended this tour back in the day. I wasn't really into these bands like at this moment. I kind of got into these sort of post-hardcore bands a little bit later, around 2011, 2012-ish, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know, I just thought this was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I got a new video sort of in my regular style, quote unquote, coming out probably later this week. But yeah, you all are awesome. Stay seen, stay emo, I guess, as we grow older in this crazy world. And we always got these videos on the Avenge the Dead HD channel to look back on whenever we need a little scene nostalgic comfort. Am I right? All right, y'all. It's been Julian, the Cozy Representative. Have an awesome night. Catch y'all on the flip flop. Peace.